Hello everybody, you have caught me immediately after a post-rain shower sob session. We just had an absolute storm come through for like 15 minutes, And I'm a huge rain person, and I am deeply upset that it started and it stopped and it's gone. It was all windy, it was beautiful, it was great. I was gonna love my time chilling here in my room with my windows wide open and the rain happening, but then it's just gone. It's just gone. And it seems like every time I'm home, it rains and I get to experience 15 minutes of it. And when I leave, when I go somewhere else, I get texts and they're like, oh my god, it's pouring. Rain, storms, showers, everything's happening for hours. And I never get to experience it. Anyways, ignore the white down there. This is Dave, everyone. Everyone say, hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. Dave got dirty as I was moving him out of my apartment a couple times. And so I need to clean him. I need to like just rip all the stuffing out of his belly right here. Look, he's got a convenient access point right here. I can just take it all out, right? And I was thinking like, well, you know what? I'm going to be tearing this guy apart. I might as well use this old bed sheet that we have laying around. And I've been sewing him up some pouches to fill him with rice, so he has some weight, and it'll be really nice. But that's just going to sit back there. I'm taking a little break from the project right now, and of course, like after I had to chill off from the rain. Not that the rain took a lot of energy out of me. I mean, it did. I'm going to be honest, it did. It really slowed me down. But that's not what matters right now. What matters is that YouTube's doing it again. YouTube rolls out more unskippable ads to make viewers wait even longer to watch videos. YouTube has been on this battle for what I think has been the last, like, since they've been really fighting on the front end for, I think it's been about 2 years now, where YouTube has just been, like, really fighting to stop people from using ad blockers and just to feed as many ads as possible down your throat. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna confirm nor deny if I do or do not get ads on YouTube. I am not aware of where it sits in their terms of service right now. I am not aware of the punishment that you may receive if you do block ads on their service. If I remember correctly, well, I mean, I do remember, I do know there's a tab right up here somewhere with an article on, you know, where I'm gonna get to. But I know at some point they were banning accounts, or not banning per se, but it's in the terms of service. If you block ads on their site, they have the right to terminate your account. I'm pretty sure they have the right to terminate your account anytime they feel like it, but it's like strictly written in there. Hey, don't block ads or you might just be gone. So I'm not going to say whether or not I do on my computer or on my phone. I'm not going to say whether or not I know how to do it on my phone, but I may or may not get ads, and I am not paying for YouTube Premium. This time around though, it is a set of 30-second non-skippable ads, which sounds really bad. If I'm going to be honest, 30-second non-skippable ads beginning my video is just going to absolutely kill the mood. I will say this, there may be like a plus side to this, where it's mainly just going to be on TVs, which for the most part, TV users are kind of already the users who are more accustomed to watching longer length ads. But that still doesn't change the fact that YouTube is continuing their fight towards the ads. I'm really curious though what this is like on YouTube's end, because if we go and take a look through the history, this is an article I pulled up from a couple years ago. There is at one point like this 3 strikes you're out thing where they're like, okay, we'll let you watch the video, but this is strike 1 if you don't turn off your ad blocker, if you don't get premium. After 3, you're done. You know, whenever this came up, I was like, screw it, I don't really care that much. I took strike 1, I took strike 2, I took strike 3. And then it just said, hey, turn off your ad blocker. So I did, and I could watch my videos again. Of course, I'm going to fight this fight. Well, actually, I may or may not fight this fight. I may or may not fight this fight. And when I said earlier that I turned my ad blocker off, I may or may not have turned my ad blocker off. But I said, hey, I may or may not fight this fight. And so I may or may not have gone real quick and just found a new ad blocker, may or may not have found a new ad blocker that just kind of worked. And then soon that one may or may not have stopped working. And then, you know, now I'm like fish out of water again. Until eventually, you know, all that really did was just lead me to find a better ad blocker. May or may not find a better ad blocker. I might have a better ad blocker. I was using one that I had been using since, like, I may or may not have been using one that I have been using since, like probably 2014 or 2014, way back. It was a pretty old ad blocker. And now I've just found an amazing ad blocker that may or may not have found an amazing ad blocker that does really well. May or may not do really well. So really all it ended up doing was just make me may or may not find a better ad blocker, but it doesn't stop the fact that they still did it. And I know people who don't find this ad blocker, may or not find a better ad blocker, do have to deal with this and will be experiencing it. And that generally will be a lot of the population, because some people aren't, you know, computer savvy enough to be able to find these kind of resources and make them work. So YouTube is taking some wins from this. I can guarantee you YouTube took some wins from this practice. And they probably took even more wins whenever, this is kind of what I was mentioning earlier, the ad blockers violate YouTube's terms of service. And this is kind of whenever it really came to light, like, hey, I think around this time people were reading the terms of service and it was like, hey, if you're blocking these ads, they actually can ban your account. And this, you know, this kind of became a problem whenever browsers like the Brave browser was like just natively blocking ads on YouTube, which I don't know if it still does. I'm pretty sure it does. But YouTube's been in a pretty hard stance against no ad blockers. Get them out of here. Which is completely in their rights because like that's where the money comes from, you know, like YouTube is a part of just the ad servicing company Google, where their whole business model is just to advertise. That is what YouTube is. It is a video hosting platform, but it's for advertisement. So it makes sense that they would do absolutely everything they can to stop you from running ads. And even now that I'm thinking about it, the ad blocker that I may or may not have should have become obsolete after YouTube did that, or after Google did that big crackdown on programs that can block ads on Chrome. I actually don't know why it still works. Wait, hold on. Let me figure this out. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why it still works. But if it stops working, I just learned I can just switch to Firefox and it will work. If I have it, it will. Another thing that YouTube's done is that it kind of like limits what third-party apps can do with its API, which again, completely reasonable. You know, any program organization that has an API that they allow people to use, completely within their rights to regulate how and what it's being used for. And if you're using it to block ads with the company, which the company doesn't want you to do, yeah, they can tell you off for it. They can stop you for it. But what I really pulled this article up for does not have anything to do with that at all. Actually, I scrolled down, I saw a Midas tweet on this article, and I was like, what the heck? Why is there a Midas tweet here? If y'all don't know who Midas is, let me just open their account real quick. They have near 100,000 posts. They are posting every single second of the day. They are always on this website. So I saw that and it just threw me so far off. But this is kind of the consensus. Guys, stop using ad blockers. Makes ads longer. Buy YouTube Premium. It's so worth it. Puts 3 ads in a row. Why are people using ad blockers? Makes ads unskippable. And this is just kind of where I feel subscription services are just and have been going for the longest time, is they just like keep getting worse and worse and worse. Like Netflix is a huge example, and this example can be very easily illustrated right now through YouTube. Here's a 2-year-old post that I saw about the grandfathered price breakdown through the years of YouTube Premium. 2016, it was about $7.99 for YouTube Premium, and then a year ago, not a year ago, I think this is it was 2 years ago, December 2023, $13.99. And of course, it is still $13.99 a month, but that is like almost a 2x increase. Which let's just do a little calculation, a little inflation calculation here. $7.99 in 2016 is $10.09 today. They have gone well past inflation on the price of what was YouTube Red and is now YouTube Premium. In fact, they've gone just about 3 times what inflation has been. Have they added 3 times as much value? No. No, not at all. I will say though, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. If we look at, or not the benefit of the doubt, I will give them this. If you look at the YouTube Premium plan, YouTube Premium comes with YouTube Music, right? If I scroll down a little bit to Premium Lite, which is what it used to be, $7.99 a month. As these platforms continue to grow, and I know Netflix did the same thing. You have like regular Netflix, and then they make the price more, and then they make the price more, and people are like, this is getting so expensive. So we'll make regular Netflix again, except most things are ad-free. And a bunch of other stuff has been removed from what you used to pay for at this price. Not yours anymore. Pay more for it. Anyways, the reason I was looking at this is because Premium Lite doesn't include YouTube Music, which you can infer that YouTube Premium does include YouTube Music. Is actually, I think that's the only way to buy YouTube Music. Oh, no, actually, it's not. You can get YouTube Music for $11 a month. Anyways, this is kind of what I was getting at. I mean, whatever. That doesn't really matter. You can get YouTube Premium for $14, which I feel like is a really good deal, if I'm gonna be honest. If you're already paying for Spotify Premium and willing to switch, Spotify Premium is $12 a month. YouTube Premium plus YouTube Music, all ads gone on YouTube, all ads gone on YouTube Music, which is essentially the same platform as Spotify. You just like lose a couple features. It's like switching from Apple to Android. You have like all of your Apple buddies with all of their Apple products, and then you switch to Android and like you've got green bubbles now, or you can't use FaceTime or just things like that. You know, you switch to YouTube Music, you no longer have like the AI DJ, or you can't do like a listening party or whatever. I'm going to be honest, I've been using YouTube Music for a couple of years now. I already made that jump. I switched to Android many years ago, so it wasn't that big a deal to me. But if you're already paying for Spotify Premium, YouTube Premium actually isn't that bad of a deal if you're willing to switch. However, that doesn't change the fact that this service has already been here the whole time though. Like, yeah, you can pay for it now. You can. It does have a dedicated YouTube Music app. Hey, look, here's my YouTube Music actually pulled up on the site. I always had this here. I don't know what is playing right now. What is this? Anyways, the only thing you really get from paying for this service is the interface. All of these videos, like let me just open this random song, right? If I go to the URL and just remove the music part of this URL, it's just a YouTube video. It's just a YouTube video. This exact same content you can just pull up on YouTube and it's no different. Before YouTube Music was around, I was doing this. Before I knew I could use Spotify for stuff, I was just listening to music on YouTube like this. Literally, the only difference between these two platforms is just the UI. And I don't think the UI justifies $12 a month. I mean, $11 a month. But I mean, that's about the end of the YouTube conversation. As the internet has continued to grow, it's become just a worse and worse place to operate with without an ad blocker, or even a pop-up blocker too. If y'all don't know about pop-up blockers, I highly recommend getting your hands on one of them. And it's only going to get worse as Google continues to fight to get these things removed and banned and pretty much just like no more ad blockers on their services, which, you know, isn't kind of the best thing whenever the FBI themselves recommends that we use ad blockers. There are so many benefits to ad blockers I mean, first and foremost, immediately, faster loading times, lower data, but also prevents you from installing malware. There are so many times whenever you may accidentally click a button somewhere on a website that I've seen it happen. I've been guiding people through how to download something. They'll see a download button that isn't the right one, and then they click it, and boom, now they've got some random disk that I just immediately watch them double click and run because they think that's the program. Ad blockers are a crucial tool to use whenever you're navigating the internet. Everyone should have one. Every browser should come with one. And if I'm gonna be honest, YouTube's constant fight against ad blockers is really just gonna do the average user and everyone using the internet as a whole just a huge disservice, because people are gonna stop using them and they're gonna suffer the consequences. And maybe those consequences are that the services that they use that require ads to run just don't work anymore and they're not profitable and they go under, and that's a larger discussion. That's a bigger problem that needs to be solved. Do I have the answer? No. Am I going to try and figure it out? No. I'm going to use my ad blocker if I have one, and I'm going to enjoy the benefits. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.